If you want to help take back comics, sci-fi, and fantasy, then subscribe to the Nerd Way. Together, we can make a difference. Thanks.
You don't know the power of the Nerd Way.
So while I was doing a little bit of research for my last video with Jessica Alba, saying that Marvel's too white, they're still too Caucasian, I saw another article that referenced her, and at the end of that article, it talked about since they changed Kang in Loki to a black guy, they're probably looking to do the same thing with Reed Richards, since Kang is a direct descendant of Reed. They're looking to do that to him in the new upcoming Fantastic Four movie. Now, I haven't seen any casting. I haven't seen anything about that movie, so that's a rumor. But I thought to myself, if they race swap anyone from the Fantastic Four, I will lose my stuff. The Fantastic Four is not called the first family for nothing. They are the first family of Marvel. If you put a Mount Rushmore of Marvel characters, you should just go ahead and put the Fantastic Four up there. All four heads. Boom, 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 boom. It's all you need. That represents Marvel perfectly. To tinker with it is not a good idea. They tried with that god-awful Fan Four Stick movie. It didn't take. I mean, not only did they race swap a bunch of, Johnny Storm, but it just the whole thing was just a mess. It was a mess. So now Marvel, the MCU, has a chance to do it right. But unfortunately, it looks like they're not. If the other, side, the side that wants to bring in all the diversity and inclusion, if they get their way, they're going to bring in a black Reed Richards. That will not be the Fantastic Four. So I thought to myself, I'm going to lose my stuff if they do this. I go to bed, I get a good night's sleep, I wake up, I turn on YouTube, and I start flipping through some things, and then I see this. This is Spider-Man freshman year. This is Peter Parker and his friends. Do you notice something? Peter's the only white guy in the entire picture. Everybody else has come from the diversity action squad. And the football player standing next to him, that's Harry Osborn. That's Harry Osborn. That should not be Harry Osborn. I'm getting all choked up here. In the comic books, you have Peter and Harry. They're friends. Is it so hard? Is it so difficult to take the characters from the page and translate them to the screen? Whether it's live action or animation, all you have to do is take what you see on the page and put it on the screen. Now, if you want to use a different animation style, by all means. You want to make it blocky, you want to make it, however you want to make the animation style. I don't care. But make Harry look like Harry. Make Peter look like Peter. I really don't understand how that could be so difficult. But then again, this is just me. Maybe you guys think it's fine with the race swapping and the gender swapping and all the other swapping, taking characters that we all know and love and just pushing them aside for garbage, derivative characters, garbage, swapped characters. Maybe you're fine with that. I am not. And who do we have to thank for this? Well, we have this guy. This is Jeff Trammell. He has been put in charge of destroying Spider-Man and his legacy. I went on IMDb and he has like one other big credit to his name. Uh, it's some kids cartoon. I think it's on Cartoon Network. I don't know. It looks dumb. The animation doesn't look great. The idea. This is the guy they chose. This is the one they chose to help destroy Spider-Man. Now, it's not supposed to come out for another year yet. I think it's supposed to come out in 2023. I'm not particularly fond of seeing it, but I'll probably watch it just so I can tear it apart. Yes, I'm going to hate watch it. You take Spider-Man. Spider-Man was the very first comic book character I ever fell in love with. Back when I was just a wee tiny little lad. I saw him first on a TV show called The Electric Company. I bought some. I bought comic books because I saw him at a wee age. He's the first character I ever wanted to be. When I grew up, I wanted to be Spider-Man. Well, no one can be Spider-Man, but needless to say, he is the one that sparked my imagination. He got me into comic books. That character got me where I'm at. I'm not a fan of what they're doing to Spider-Man and his legacy and canon. If you're a fan, you shouldn't be happy either. You should be up in arms. You should be. Don't be quiet. Let Marvel know what you think. Let Marvel know they're making poor life decisions. They're making decisions for people on Twitter, the Twitter crowd, the diversity and inclusion and representation crowd, the crowd that doesn't buy comic books. All they want to do is complain about comic books, or complain about the movies, or complain about the TV shows. They don't actually want to watch them. They just want to complain. And Marvel is giving in. DC has given in. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and other people have said it before me. If you don't like what's coming out, if you don't like these comic books, if you don't like these things, make your own. Independent comic book creators have been crowdfunding comics now for years because they didn't like what's coming out from Marvel and DC. So they're making their own. I didn't like what's coming out Marvel and DC. So I wrote my own superhero fiction novel to help fill the void of what's coming out. So if you don't like what's coming out, Twitter, and you don't like how it looks, make your own, or shut up and sit down and stop ruining things for the rest of us, because that's what you're doing. You're just destroying everything just so you can feel better about yourselves. Stop it. If you love comic books, if you're a comic book fan, if you're a fan of sci-fi, Doctor Who's been ruined by this crowd. Star Trek's been ruined by this crowd. Star Wars has been ruined by this crowd. Any number of great sci-fi shows have been ruined by this crowd. Now the Lord of the Rings is going to be ruined by this crowd. I can't even imagine what's going to be ruined next. I don't want to imagine what's going to be ruined next. It's already, everything's crumbling around our feet, thanks to these diversity, inclusion, representation crowds. if you if you are passionate about this, as passionate as I am, I mean, like I said, I was passionate enough. I wrote a book. Other people are passionate. They're putting out crowdfunded comic books. There are people with passion that love this genre, superheroes. Whether you're comic books, novels, people have made short independent movies and TV shows. Well, not TV shows, but if you're passionate, join me, subscribe, follow me. I love talking comics. I love talking sci-fi and fantasy. I love hearing from you guys. Join me. Help keep comic books. Help keep our way of storytelling alive. And help stop this erosion that is taking place. I have a lot of other videos. You guys can check them out. Again, like this video, subscribe if I've earned it. Tell your friends about it. We need to keep comic books alive because right now they're all but dead. At least the mainstream comic book scene is just about dead. So support your local crowdfunded comic book. Support your local indie author. That'd be me. There's plenty of other authors out there who've written superhero fiction. Go out and find them. Find them, buy their books, support them. There are a lot of people who don't like what's happening, and we're trying to fix it. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next video.